Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to effectively create look ahead in Primavera P6. Okay, so let's dive in. So we have a program in here. Okay, it's a pipe installation program. Some of the activities has been completed, and we have some of the activities on the critical path, and we have some activities on the right hand side of the data date. So if you have any activity on the right hand side, so this blue line is your data date. So if you have any activity on the right hand side of the blue line, it means that the activities are in the future. That's your forecast. Okay, and if you have any activity on the left hand side of your forecast of your data date, that's those are the completed activities. Okay, so they are in the past. All right, so let's say we want to create a 4 weeks look ahead to see the activities we need to do in the next 4 weeks. So how do you go about it? So you need to create a filter for that. Okay, so let's create a filter together. So to create a filter, you click on this filter icon at the top in here. So click on that filter, then you get this pop-up. Let me just explain to you how this works. Okay, so let's say this is our data date. Okay, so this is the data date, and let's say this is the period the next 4 weeks. So let's say this is January and this is February. So that means we have 4 weeks in between January and February. So that's what we want to capture. So we want to capture all the activities we'll be doing between January and February. Okay, or let's say just 4 weeks. So we have different scenarios, to determine this. So it is possible that an activity has started even before you get into January, before you get into your data date, and it will be completed in that period, in that window. So this is the window we are looking at. Okay, the window from this line to this line. Okay, so it is possible the activity started just before the data date and finishes in that period. That's one scenario. So let's say option 1. Yeah, another option is the activity can actually start within that window and finish within that window as well. That's option 2. So you're capturing that kind of activity as well. So anything that starts before the data date but is finishing in that window of your look ahead, or an activity that starts within that window and finishes within that window. Another thing you're looking for also is an activity that actually started that starts within the window and will finish outside that window. So you want to capture those activities as well. And that's one important activity that you need to capture as well, because it's possible that an activity starts before the window and it will not even end during the window. It will be ending outside the window. So we call that one, let's call that one option 4. So that's in progress activity. So activity that is in progress. Okay, so we want to capture those 4 kind of activities. So how do you create a filter for this? Okay, that's what we need to look into. So how to create a 4 weeks look ahead within 2 windows and capture all these 4 scenarios. So the first thing you need to do is to go to your filter in P6. Just go to your filter here, click on it, then it will come up with this filter menu. So now we need to create a new filter. So create a new filter. Just click on new and come in here and name your filter. I'll give your filter a name. So in this case now I want to create a 4 weeks look ahead. So I'll give it a name, 4 weeks look ahead. Okay, 4 weeks look ahead. Okay, so we need to start to define our parameter. So don't forget what we said in here. So one of them is the activity starts before the data date but ends within that period, or you could start within the data date within the period and finish within that period, or you could start within that period, finish later outside the period, or we can have the number 4, which is it's in progress. So let's define the first one. The first one, what you want to say here is the start date. Yeah, so look for start is within the range. Okay, so it's within the range of what our data date. Okay, and what's the high value? So you need to define a high value here. So I want my data date, I want this start date to be within the range of this data date and my next 4 weeks. That's what we're doing here. So you can say data date plus 4 weeks. Okay, so it's to capture all the activities we need to do now, which is our data date, and the activity we need to do data date plus 4 weeks time. So we need to do the same thing for finish activities as well. Okay, so you can create a new one, or you can just copy and paste and say finish is the same thing. You're looking for activity that's finishing within that period as well. And the last parameter you can add to this is the in progress activity. So you want to check if there's any activities in progress within that period. So you can see activity status equals in progress. Okay, so when you do this, you know the job is not done yet. You need to change this all of the following to any of the following. So what we're saying here is that we want to look for any activities in the program that meets all these three criteria. Yes, so it is either, you know, the start is within the range of the data date to the data date plus 4 weeks, or the finish is between that same period, or we can say our activity status is equals in progress. So you can click on OK now, and make sure you select your filter. So this one, just select it and click on apply. Okay, so when you click on apply, the system will check for the activities that we have to do within that period. Okay, so just press OK here. Then you can see in here that these are the activities that I need to do within that period. So you can actually change your time scale to see it properly. So you can just zoom in, zoom out here. So let's zoom out and see. So if you look at it properly now, you know, my period here is between the week starting the 8th of June, 15th, 22nd and 29th. That's my 4 weeks period. Okay, and that you can do to double check is to bring up your progress spotlight. Okay, bring up your progress spotlight and drag it out, you know, to show the 4 weeks. You would see that all these activities in that period is highlighted as yellow. Okay, so that's a quick and dirty way to actually do your look ahead. You know, all the activities that are highlighted in yellow are actually what is happening within that 4 weeks. So this is capturing all the activities we need to do. So let's remove the spotlight, and let's say your own data date is not bold like this. Just right click on your Gantt area and click on chart option, and when that comes up, so just go to your data date here and increase the size to 1, 2 or 3. And if you want to change the color, but the default color is blue anyway, so you can leave it as blue. So just press OK. So these are the activities I need to do within the next 4 weeks. Okay, one thing you can see here as well, I've got a level of effort activity here. So level of effort activity, or hammock activity, is showing up. What if you don't want to see this level of effort in your filter? So what you need to do here is to go back to your filter and create a new filter and call it, I'll show you 2 different ways, and call it level of effort. So I'll create a new filter and I will say this is my level of effort. Okay, LOE. Okay, so level of effort. So now I want to say my activity type. Okay, so you look for activity type is not equal to a level of effort. So I just click on OK. So now you can select your level of effort, and you can also go and select your 4 weeks look ahead. So make sure all is selected and click on all selected filter and click on apply. So in this case now you've filtered out your level of effort activity in the program. So your level of effort will not be showing within that time frame. As you can see here, I've got 12th of June to 16th of July for my start and finish date. Okay, so that's the period I'm looking for. So that's the 4 weeks look ahead. And what if you don't want you want to create just one filter? Okay, you just will create one filter, and you don't want to create a separate filter for the level of effort and another one for your look ahead. So what do we do? So you can actually go back to your look ahead. So let me just take a copy of this to do this experiment. So you can just copy and paste this back in here. Your filter name is also always unique. It's one of the unique field in P6, so that's why I added _1 to it. So let me just go into this copy and click on modify. So when I click on modify here, so what I need to do, just rename it and just add not LOE. Okay, so 4 weeks ahead, and it's not a level of effort activity. You can do the same thing for maybe WBS summary activity as well. So what I want to do here now, I want to create a new heading. So I just click on add here. Then I will say any of the following Now move all of these parameters underneath this filter. So I'll just move this to the right, click on this, move this to the right, click on this as well, move it to the right as well. Okay, so I now have this filter, and I'll create another one as well. So let's add a new one here. So we're combining filter. And I'll move this down, then I'll click on this one. You can see any of the following as well. Then you had one underneath it, and call this one activity type. Activity type is not equal to LOE. Okay, the last thing you need to do now, because the parameters or the filter needs to meet these two parameters, you know, it needs to meet this and it needs to meet this. So you change this from this one to any of the following to all of the following. I know this is a bit advanced. Okay, so what we're saying here is that the activity, the start and finish date, it should be within the range of look ahead, or we can say the activity status is in progress, and it must not be a level of effort activity. Okay, so when you click on this now, you can now press OK. I'll remove all the filters, then I'll apply this filter and click apply. Okay, and you see that it will give us the same results. Okay, so you can actually do it, you know, individually and click on different, you know, filter to apply all of it, or you can actually combine all your filter into one filter. So that's one way to do it. Okay, and if you have a specific date, because this filter that we create will always be true based on your data date. It will always measure from your data date to the next 4 weeks, 4 weeks. And if you need to create a 16 weeks look ahead, all you just need to do, you know, duplicate this filter and change this 4 weeks to 16 weeks. It's as simple as that. If you need to create a 1 week look ahead, what do? Yeah, you get it right. So just change this 4 week and change it to 1 week. It's as simple as that. So that's how you create your look ahead. You can create 12 month look ahead, 2 years look ahead. That's how you do it. Okay, another way to create a filter, which I think is the simplest way to actually create a filter. Don't forget what we are trying to do here is we are looking for activity that starts outside the period and it's finishing within the period, or it's starting within the period, finishing within the period, or starting within the period, finishing outside the period, or an activity that is in progress. Okay, that cuts across the period. It started before the period and it's finishing after the period. Those are the activities we are actually looking for. Okay, so how do you do that? How do you interpret that in your in P6? Okay, so what we want to do here now is to create a new filter. So let me remove the filter that I have in here. To remove the filter, just click on all activities and click on apply. Okay, so click on all activities and click on apply. So what I want to do now to create a new one, just click on new filter. Yeah, so create a new filter. You can name it, in this case now, let's say this one is our 16 weeks look ahead. Okay, so I want to create a filter for 16 weeks look ahead. So now I'll go back again with the start activity. So I want my it to be the start is within the range of, yeah. So in this case now I want to say, okay, any activity that has started at the beginning of the project. So I'll say project start. Okay, so project start, then your high value here, you have two options. You can say, okay, it has to be a particular date. So let's say we are on the 1st of January and my next 4 weeks is the 1st of February, for example. So I'll now select the 1st of February here. That will be my highest value because that's the, you know, the next 4 weeks. Or you can go again and say, you know, data date plus 4 weeks. Okay, data date plus 4 weeks. So that's my period. Or you can actually select a date to say, okay, my data date here is sometimes in June. Okay, so you can say, okay, my next 4 weeks should be, if this is my data date, so the next 4 weeks should be maybe 5th of July. Okay, if my next 4 weeks is 5th of July, all I just need to do, click on that 5th of July and select. So you can actually say that is the period. You know, any activity that starts between when the project starts and the next 4 weeks and the activity is not completed. That's as simple as that. So, but in this case now, I'll just change it to data date plus 4 weeks. Okay, so data date plus 4 weeks. Then you add a new one and you say activity status. You know, just look for activity status. Activity status is not equal to completed. So what I'm saying here is that I'm looking for activity in the program. Let's say this is where the project starts. So I'm looking for activity that is starting here and it's still going through this period up to this line and it's not completed. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. It's as simple as that. It will give us the same result. So let's just click on OK. But in this case now we are creating a 16 weeks lookahead. So let's just modify this, and instead of having it as 4 weeks, we just change it to 16 weeks. Okay, so just say data date plus 16 weeks. Click apply and click on OK. So it will give us all the activities that we need to do in the next 16 weeks in our program. Okay, so if you scroll down now and you sort by your start date, you will see that these are all the activities I'm doing in the next 16 weeks. Okay, so as you can see, the next 16 weeks, these are all the activities we need to do. Okay, it's capturing the level of effort as well. Don't forget, you can create another filter to edit out the level of effort, so the level of effort is not showing in your lookahead. But by all means, if you want it to show, you can leave it, let it show. So that's how you create your 16 weeks lookahead, and that's how you create your 4 weeks lookahead. If you need to create any lookahead, you just need to change the parameter from 4 to 16, from 16 to 12. You can actually have 2 years lookahead, 3 years lookahead, depending on how big your project is. I hope you understand this. If you have any question, or if you actually create your lookahead in a different way, please drop it in the comment section below, and let's learn from each other. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click on like and share it with your friends you think they might benefit from what the amazing things we are doing here for free. So I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Cheers. Bye.